Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brillman, and we are here at LFL 2021. And it is the very first game that we are about to witness. It's going to be Team Misfits Premiere against LDCL. And Solari, could you tell something about the teams?
Hello, very happy to be here today. My name is Solari. I will be helping Brilman today to cast this amazing game because the teams that we have playing today, and just a reminder, this is the first game of the LFL of this season, and the teams that we have playing today against each other are incredible. Let me start with the Misfits Premiere. And a kind reminder to you all that in the last LFL, so the LFL 2020, this was exactly the team who won the whole thing. And the team that they're playing against today, the LDCL, are those who took the third place. So we here have two competitors who have already met last season, who are going to compete yet again to try maybe and change something. And interesting fact is that almost all of the players in both teams are new this season. However, the Misfits still have the top laner Aggressivo, who has already played with them in the last season, and in the LDCL we have ADC and Yellow Star, who have already been also guests to the LFL.
This is completely true, and just to remind everybody of you that if you want to watch LFL 2021, be sure to go to the Twitch channel of OTP LOL and watch it over there, because what we're doing is only casting it in English. And to be honest, here with Misfits, my eyes are just completely drawn to Certus, to the mid laner. He was the player who reached the level of challenger at the age of 14. That's incredible. And he loves to play on aggressive picks. With that in mind, I just want to see what he's going to be capable of doing in that game, because just thinking about it, this is going to be something absolutely amazing. And here we are already in the ban picks.
Already almost everything has been banned and almost everything has been picked, so let us go very quickly through what we see here and then we will discuss a little bit more in details. So on the Misfits sites, we have a very, very, very incredible pick, which is just talking about a lot of aggression from their side. I'm looking first of all at Graves, because Shaldan is playing on his main champion here, and he is extremely good at Graves, and he has been very good with him for quite many seasons now. And also looking at the mid lane pick, because this Zoe, for Certus, this is the champion who he has fallen in love recently. He has been playing her a lot, and he is very, very comfortable with her. This is extremely the mid laner mage with a lot of burst damage, and this is exactly the playstyle that he loves. This is something that he is just feeling completely in his boots right here, I'm pretty sure. And then looking at the LDCL picks, I see something happening on the bot lane with these Aphelios and Nautilus pick, because let me please remind you who is playing on the bot lane of LDCL, because this is Exakik, who is a very young player. He's only age 17 right now, but he really loves to play Aphelios. He's one of his main picks in fact, and he's being supported by no other than Yellow Star, and I'm pretty sure the name speaks for himself. This is the person who has been in League of Legends since, well, its very beginning, and he has switched to playing supports from ADC actually while he was with the Fnatics, and he really loves the chunky, tanky supports. So his main pick is Leona, but Nautilus is his probably second preferred pick. So I'm pretty sure that the bot lane is going to be a hell of a place, and Misfits need to be really careful with this duo.
I absolutely agree with everything you're saying, and honestly speaking, I'm quite looking forward into this game, because thinking about it, both teams have decided to go with a little bit of a more of an aggression setup, even though that LDCO had to go with a little bit of a different picks that they're going most of the times. It's still speaking for itself that both teams are really interested in those team fights and interested to have those skirmishes around the map. And honestly speaking, looking at the setup, it seems to me right now that Misfits are a little bit in a better position, because they have a little bit more control. They have Ornn, they have Alistar, they have a little bit of more of this chunkiness, and then at the same time, there's 3 glass cannons that can just destroy anything they see in front of each other. And my favors are going to Team Misfits, but it is not really relevant because right now we're going to find out what's going to happen in the Summoner's Rift.
Well, it's actually very relevant, but let's indeed see how the game goes. My eyes are on both teams equally. I am a little bit biased looking to Misfits Premiere because the team consists almost completely of Polish players. Me living in Poland, I just feel very connected to them, and you have to forgive me for this. No bad feelings towards LDCL, obviously. Just, you know, very personal thing here.
Just supporting your guys from your land.
Indeed. Okay, so what do we have in the game right now? We have a very, very interesting bot lane, as I said before, because both supports are really going to look forward to those little fights on the very early levels. So I'm pretty sure that the team who hits level 2 first on the bot lane, not even hitting level 2, because just look at Yellow Star just rolling into Yaktrol, just the amount of damage that Aphelios is able to provide on any stage of the game is incredible, and that's something you really need to remember it. No matter what level he is now, he's probably going to be a problem. And actually LDCL here managed to hit level 2 first because they completely leave Misfits without a good position for trying to fight for any creeps. And now they are a threat. Now the bot lane is really struggling for Misfits, and at the same time Shatan doesn't seem to pay too much attention to the bot lane, because I think even though it is a hard position for Misfits there now, it's not going to be lethal just yet.
I just think that you have to consider Yellow Star to be one of the, you know, like this big chunky raid boss of Team LDCL, because all the background that this man has is enormous, is pretty enormous. And even though we know, yes, it's a support. He can't do that much a lot of damage. He can't just burst your enemy into tears because he did so much damage. You just blinked and you're dead. But thinking about it, it's Nautilus. It's a champion that can pretty much win you a skirmish because of how well he can go into that little skirmish, into that little team fight. And I'm really interested in the itemization behind it, because he has a little bit of a variety, and I'm interested if it's going to be Solari in order, and not speaking about my colleague here right now, but about an item, a Locket of Iron Solari. If he's going to try and save his teammates from the burst damage that 3 members of Team Misfits do have right now, or he's going to look into something like Moonstone Renewer, or maybe even Shirelius, who knows? So that's going to be a little bit of an interesting thing right here. And just point out, Team Misfits are feeling indeed so capable of themselves, so confident that they just go into the enemy jungle, taking those precious farm and digging it, and in the same time we have a little bit of an action here coming out in the bot lane. Yellow Star and a little bit of a problem right now, as he has to burn the heal. Exile Kick has to burn his heal in order to save his support from a very, very tight position over here. And it seems like, even though I've talked about Yellow Star to be as a threat to Team Misfits, it still is going to be a fair fight.
It's still going to be a fair fight because Yaktrol is extremely confident on the same type of supports that Yellow Star mains, so he will pretty much understand what's going on. But look at this, LDCL manages.
Manatsi in a very bad spot. He is burning an Ignite in order to take the first blood, and first blood is going for Grace, but in the meantime, bot lane is having a little bit of a skirmish of its own as both supports for both teams are going down. It seems like Exile Kick is going to have a little bit more damage than this Kai'Sa at level 4 exactly, and is going to take these 2 precious kills, taking that double kill. But Graves is going in order to take the 2nd kill for himself, and that's the 3rd kill for Team Misfits.
Kudos to Schladan. That was a very good follow-up from his side. And may I just notice that Manadi tried to do the same thing as Schladan did a little bit earlier. So trying just to go directly to the enemy jungle and show them that he's not afraid to go there and to try to steal some farm from the enemy jungle. But the thing is, you don't really go into Graves' jungle because Graves will not probably let you get out alive. And we have a replay of what happened on the bot lane in the meantime. There was a very, very nice initiation from Yellowstar, but unfortunately, Wulai just provides so much damage that it's really hard to answer anything for him unless you are Aphelios. That was a very close fight right there, actually. Wulai was close to trying maybe and get the kill for himself, but not really happened. And in the meantime, there is a first dragon, and that's an infernal dragon that goes to Team LDLC.
Something that we have witnessed quite a lot of times, even in the previous events of League of Legends esports, when we see one team that are in the gold lead. They're taking the lead in terms of gold, and so in terms of money. And we can see right now that this is a 1,000 gold difference between the teams. As the second team, who are a little bit behind, they're taking the objects, and we see this very clearly right now. Yes, maybe Misfits are having this 1,000 gold lead, but LDLC are taking the first dragon, and they're going to take that red buff without any kind of punishment, which is very important for them right now, because maybe they're not able to maintain the spacing of themselves in terms of gold, but they can take this precious objectives, precious buffs, and go into it. But in the same time, we have Graves, a little bit of a problem here, as Team LDLC are trying to catch him in his jungle, but it's not going to work, as Misfits are going to answer with a skirmish of their own, and it seems like it's going to be a very unfair trade for Team LDLC, as they are going to lose 3 members of their team.
LDLC tried to do the same thing again. They tried again to try to show Misfits Premiere that they are not afraid to go into their jungle and steal whatever belongs to Misfits. But Schlaran is not exactly someone you will try to temper with. He just goes back and says, no, I'm going to punish you for whatever he tried to do. And that was a good follow-up, actually, from the mid lane to help him, to support him. Because, frankly speaking, Schlaran was in a very dangerous position there with his vision removed by Yellowstar, and with Yellowstar being just ready to capture him, to trap him in that bush, and with a follow-up from the LDLC mid lane as well. But in this situation, Misfits just had more damage, especially with Wulai just coming to rescue the team, just coming to secure the kills for his team, and he is really good at this, Kaise. You can see how confident he feels on this champion.
Absolutely agree with you, and all the kudos to players of Misfits Premiere, because the follow-up was just fantastic, as we see Graves actually taking this hero to themselves, and that means that Team Misfits are going to try to capitalize on their lead of gold, as this is probably going to give a lot of benefits to one of the laners. And in the meantime, we see that Aphelios and Nautilus were successful at picking one turret play, which is quite important for them, because Aphelios has a lot of damage, and you just want to see him go as more powerful as it possibly can get, because you have 2 extremely chunky tanks, or let's say front laners, in Team Misfits, and you have 3 Gloss Guardians. You have to be able not only to deal with that, but also try to survive. And more powerful he gets, more important it is. And we see Herald being popped here in the mid lane, as already 3 members of Team Misfits are now in this mid lane. It seems to be it's going to be a power dive, and it was so fast you could blink and you miss it, as Silas is getting absolutely annihilated, deleted from the Summoner's Rift.
That's how much power and how much confidence and how much aggression Graves already has at this point. Right now he's 4-0. He was 3-0 at the point that he dived under the tower, knowing exactly that he was going directly for a kill. And frankly, look at him right now. There was absolutely no doubt probably in his head that he would take that kill and leave unharmed, which is exactly what happened there in the mid lane.
Such a confident gameplay from Team Misfits. They just don't concern themselves with anything. They see the target, they don't see anything in between themselves and the target. They're just going towards it. They see that enemy nexus and they know they have to destroy it. And it seems like nothing is about to stop them at this point. They seem to be very comfortable and confident around that Summoner's Rift.
It's very important not to get overconfident because LDLC still have this bot lane and they still have Sylas, which is going to be a really big problem in mass team fights. But what they also have is the Dragon, which is coming up in just a few seconds, and I'm pretty sure, just looking at what's happening on the map right now, that we are going to see both team trying to go for it, even though there is right now no vision for any of them. Well, Misfits have a little bit more because they're just going into the enemy jungle, placing those very aggressive wards because they know they are capable of just doing whatever they want without being punished, and LDLC just have to back up from that dragon and not even try to contest it. But it's 1-1 in terms of dragons for both teams, so it's not very crucial just yet.
And we're going to see a mountain dragon the next game, but it doesn't really matter. At the same time, poor Zoe is getting absolutely catched here in the mid lane, going to be sent back to the fountain as it is finally some kind of an answer from Team LDLC.
Well, they are trying to group at this point, and they are working from the Yellow Star, who is extremely good with his hooks, but unfortunately they need to back up a little bit because of this ultimate. No, I'm sorry, not because of this ultimate, that is my mistake here, because just of this Alistar, because Yaktrol is he's playing the champion that is just going head bumping enemies and telling them, no, you are not taking any more from my team, even though LDLC already feel much better after taking that Zoe, even though it took 4 champions just going for that raid boss on the mid lane, taking her all together. But they are grouping up. They're grouping up really successfully so far, and I assume that this is what they're going to try to stick with, just trying to not have team fights 2 versus 2, but just trying to catch somebody from Team Misfits to just annihilate them from the game and then continue to trying to catch somebody else.
It might have been actually 3 members of Team LDLC that were trying to catch the Zoe and successfully doing so, but you might be right, I might be wrong. I don't really know, actually, honestly speaking, because I have a little bit of a blurred vision over here right now. But it doesn't really matter because I absolutely agree with you in the terms that they feel a little bit more confident. But it's something. It might be a little bit of a false feeling here of confidence, honestly speaking, because even though you have managed to take that Zoe, you're still having Jaktrol on this Alistar, you're still having Schlotten being able to just annihilate with that Zoe basically anybody at this point, even Yellow Star, even though he's tanky and even though he's quite powerful, it's not going to be that easy for them to actually do something. He's getting absolutely, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, that amount of damage coming into that poor Nautilus, as at the same time, Silas is trying to do something about it, getting inside of this team fight. There are 2 teleporters getting burned from both of the top laners. Kais, I'm sorry, he's getting a little bit of a tricky position right now, as both teams are deciding to withdraw, not continue on that team fight. But look at the damage that has been done to both of the teams. Even though Team LDLC were capable of doing quite a lot of damage, just that damage from Zoe onto Nautilus, she just took a chunk of it. It's a half of Nautilus HP, just took it and going, nope, you're no longer tanky.
That was also a really beautiful beginning of the fight from Certus, because Team Misfits didn't really have much vision in that part of the enemy jungle, but that E that Zoe managed to land on Yellow Star, that was beautiful, and that was something that allowed the whole team to just go in and try to get something and deal that insane amount of damage that they're able to give to show to LDLC. Right now though, on the bot lane, it's a little bit tricky position for Misfits since the tower is going down very quickly thanks to Aphelios, but what LDLC are missing right now because of it is another Herald, which will probably surely go to Misfits yet again, which means that this is going to be 1 more tower taken by Misfits from LDLC very soon. The question is which lane it's going to be.
I would set my eyes on the top lane, honestly speaking. Maybe not, maybe yes, but it seems like they're going to try and take it. And I just want to point out that this is exactly what I've been talking about. Even though that LDLC were trying to take this object lead on their own team, still it's a almost 5,000 gold difference. No, I'm sorry, 4,000. It's getting close to the 4,000 gold difference in the lead of Team Misfits Premiere. And that is something very important, because if you look at that Graves, if you look at that Zoe, if you look at that Kaiser, they are extremely dangerous. You don't want to see them out front just going at you and trying to pick you up, because most likely they're going to do that without any kind of problem.
Just look at the gore drinker on Graves and imagine how well this item works on this champion and how scary it looks for LDLC right now, seeing this item on the 4-0 Graves, who is just able to go into the team, but
and
never
in the meantime,
mind.
Bryce is in a very tight position right here, because there's lots of damage coming from that Aphelios, but it's not going to be enough, as Yellow Star is almost dead, but Karthus' ultimate is going to pick up that kill, and it seems like even though they have almost lost Yellow Star here, they're going to try to turn this fight around, and maybe Misfits are going to pay for that with a Mountain Drake. Probably they're going to try to take some actions against it, and yes, Team LDLC are going to try to withdraw here, because they don't really want to fight the rest of the team, because they don't really have Yellow Star. That means that every 3 members of the team are not exactly that tanky as you would like them to be, and that is going to be yet another dragon to Team Misfits Premiere. I'm just going to very fastly correct you, because what we see right now on Graves is not exactly Gore Drinker, but an Immortal Shield Bow. If I see correctly, that's the item that gives you the protection from the burst damage, and you can understand why are they going for it, because of that Aphelios. And just look at this beautiful engagement from an LDLC.
Can I just say, Yellow Star right here, their play from him was incredible. Just this initiation from this support, it's so scary. And also, thank you very much for correcting me. I see now, yes, indeed, that's Immortal Shield Bow. I apologize, I just don't really see very well in general, and that sometimes plays a bad joke to me. But let's get back to the game, because it's so much happening right here, right now, and LDLC are frankly in a very bad position right now, because Misfits are just leading almost everywhere, except maybe for this tower on the top lane, which Dan is going to... No! Just a little bit of HP is left on that tower, and it continues to live. All kudos to Sergius.
Only one more auto, and it would have been a tower, but no!
Oh, no.
Oh, an Exile Kicker seems to be in a very tight spot right here, as that's a damage from Graves, and here comes Alistar in order to have a little bit of that control onto that Aphelios, and this is going to be a kill for Team Misfit, and it seems like they're going to be able to take maybe even 2 of those towers if they're not going to be stopped by Team LDLC, and it seems like it's going to be the case. As I have said, yes, I was indeed correct. I wasn't really looking for that, but I was. So here comes the top Herald, and it seems like they're going to even try to take even a 3rd tower over here. Not exactly sure if that's going to be exactly a success. Not really, but it still was a kill for Team Misfits, or to be precise, for that Graves. More kills, more damage, and even 2 towers for Team Misfits. So they're just really establishing themselves in the lead right now, and it seems like only a miracle is going to help Team LDLC to actually do something about it.
Misfits in this game are very good at punishing LDLC for trying some things that might actually take them out from the abyss and give them a win. So like split pushing, almost taking the tower. No, you're not taking the tower. Indeed, you know what? We are taking your teammate, and we're taking your tower, and not just 1 but 2. And that's not the first time that we see Misfits do it. They're just playing from their opponent's mistakes, and they're really good at it. But still, they need to be careful, because I'm just looking at Yellow Star and his initiations. I'm looking at Manati and his ultimates, as well as Dandan's ultimates. It's still not a clear position for Misfits. They still are in they can still be in a little bit of trouble on some spots of the map, especially since this tower finally goes down.
That is an amazing slip from Sergius, as Alistair is able to follow it up, and even maybe going to kill Yellow Star. Not exactly happening right now. No, indeed, he's coming down. That amazing damage from Zoe. In the meantime, we have Silas also going down because here comes the on. Here comes the aggressive initiation from Morn. And it seems like it's going to be an absolutely unpunished Baron for Team Misfits. Here's coming yet another initiation from Morn. This is an ultimate. 2 flashes going to be burned in order to try to escape that tight spot that Team Misfits have created for Team LDLC. Dan trying to do something about it. Here coming, trying in order to get some barrels over here and taking some damage into it. Manati also trying to get some more damage into it. Here comes Alistair, just throwing himself into the fray, and Manati is getting absolutely deleted from the Summoner's Rift. And here comes a Baron Nashor for Team Misfits. No! And Alistair still survives, even that after ultimate from Carthus. No, is able to pick it up. Dan is an extremely low HP, and that is almost a clean Baron for Team Misfits, as they have established themselves as probably a winners of this Summoner's Rift.
Most probably, to be honest. Right now it looks like Team LDLC doesn't really stand much chance against Misfits after this incredible team fight. Just kudos to Serious for this sleep. Just look at what's happening. The amount of damage from Affiliates is not even enough to do anything to Schlatten, because he is just going back and helping Zoe to secure another kill. Just incredible fight from Misfits. Everybody worked so well here. Just wow, no words here, honestly. Just such a good fight.
It is as clean as it actually might be, because look at it. Even though they were trying to persuade Team LDCO that they're going for Dandan for that gangplank, they just immediately turned their attention into that Carthus. And even though Carthus was actually able to pick up that kill on Alistair and take 1 Baron buff off Team Misfits, it doesn't really matter, because Misfits are playing it so clean, they're playing it so well, that it seems like really, it has to be a miracle for Team LDLC to actually win that game.
I currently don't see an option, to be honest, for them to kill. Just look at the difference in everything, in kills, in the towers taken, in the gold, in the objectives on the map. Misfits are ahead of them absolutely everywhere. Now they're going to be ahead of kills yet again, because Dan is going down.
Has to flash away, but there's also flash from Jack Troll, and it seems like Schlatten is going to pick yet another kill for himself, as Team Misfits showing us yet again that a good initiation might actually cost you maybe even a lane over here.
Well, not necessarily, but since they still have a Baron buff on almost all of them except the poor Alistar, most probably we're going to see some push here. But at the same time, we have yet another dragon who is up and just waiting for someone to come and take him. And by someone, I probably only mean Misfits, because they are in position to go back and take an objectives. LDLC currently cannot leave the base because an inhibitor goes down, and yet another is probably also going down because Misfits are not leaving this lane.
We're having Aggressivo going quite deep into the enemy lane, as we see right now Ornn's ultimate being burned by Silas. Schlatten as a half an HP. Here comes Silas trying to do some kind of a difference here, but here comes a true ultimate from Ornn as an immense amount of damage coming from Misfits, as Woolite has taken that double kill. Here comes Certus picking up that Aphelios, and this is a triple kill for Moonlight, as Certus is trying to go gold in order to get himself safe from that ultimate from Carthus. Is going to save him, as only Dan is left trying to defend the base, but it seems like it's not going to be an option, because even though Misfits are not having their Baron buff, they're just destroying that last turret that stands in between them and Nexus, and Misfits Premiere are going to take that first match, even though, despite all the efforts from Team LDLC.
And this first game goes, in the end, to Misfits Premiere Polska Górom. That was an incredibly well game. I'm just so happy to see how well Misfits were in this match. And that last triple kill on that Kai'Sa with a Kraken Slayer, there was just so much damage coming from that single champion that LDLC were just in a completely desperate position. They were pretty desperate, but that moment in general, because of everything that was happening before that. But just looking at that Kai'Sa, that wasn't just a technical win, that was probably also a moral win.
I absolutely agree with you, honestly speaking, because even though I want to give kudos to Yellow Star, because his initiations into Misfits were just fantastic, but the overall cleanness of the gameplay that we have seen from Misfits. They have taken every single opportunity they could have taken, and they have taken every single opportunity in the team fights they could have taken, and it was so clean from them that it didn't really seem that that there was some kind of an option of defeating of defeat for them, because Baron, yes, we take it. Dragons, yes, we take it. Team fights, yes, we take it. It seems like there was really not even a single thought that they might lose this game.
They were not feeling 100% confident probably in the very beginning, but then they super quickly gained back that feeling of being able to win this game, being able to dominate in every single aspect of the game, and they did it. They just clearly went on and did it. And I don't even know what you're at. That was just, I have to agree with you, that was an extremely clean and a very quick actually game. Kudos to Misfits for winning this very first game of LFL 2021. My name was Larry. I was joined today by my colleague Prilman. It was our pleasure to cast this LFL for you in English. Kind reminder, you can watch all live games on their official Twitch website. Official Twitch channel.
Yeah.
And
on the official Twitch website and the official channel of OTP LOL. Let's put it this way.
Yes, okay, let's put it this way. It will be better like that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. We will see you in the next games of LFL 2021. Have a safe evening, everybody.